Okay, today's video answer is about the question, what do I do if I find a house that has space that's not permitted? Every buyer asks this question, and the first thing you need to understand is the current owner knows that the property doesn't have permits for that space, and they're okay with it. So demanding them to get you permits on the space is likely to take you exactly nowhere. So let's really think about the consequences of this unpermitted space. First question that you need to ask yourself is, how important is this space? Is it just a bonus room? Is it a family room which compromises a large part of the value of the home to you? Is it a bathroom? In fact, is there any kind of sewage and plumbing there at all? These are questions you need to ask yourself. The more important the space is to the value of the home, the more important it is for you to solve whether or not you're okay with the non-permitted status of that space. The second thing you need to ask yourself, and everybody does this, is, am I going to have problems while I live in the home? I.e., is somebody going to knock on the door and tell me to tear it out? And two, am I going to have problems when I sell the space later on? We never know what's going to happen in the future. Standards change from year to year, and what was acceptable 20 years ago is not acceptable today. So I can't really tell you for sure what will happen in the future, but by and large, if you can answer your question satisfactorily now, you're likely to not have a problem when you sell the home later. So what are those questions? Well, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, how does the space look? Does it look like it is added on with scotch tape and baling wire? That's your first clue. The second thing is, does the room look like it's just cattywampus? Are the ceilings too low? Are the walls canted in? Is the toilet falling off the edge? I mean, these are kind of obvious things, but you know when a room looks like it just really is bad news bears. After you've taken a look at that, it doesn't really seem to look like it's poor workmanship. The next question is, was the space added on so that the outside wall of the house is now just too close to the neighbor? Is it on the property line? Is it just a few inches from the property line now? This could be a problem because although the current next door neighbor is fine with the addition, maybe the next person won't be fine with it. So if the property is now too close to the edge because of this addition, you really have some questions that you need to ask. The third thing is, what does your home inspector think? The home inspector is going to be able to tell you what kinds of codes might have been violated. Maybe the windows are too small for the scope of the space. Maybe it doesn't have windows at all. Maybe it's too small for current code. This doesn't mean that the space is unacceptable. It just means that you know what could be a problem should someone complain in the future. Which brings me to the next point. Who might complain? There's always the possibility that an exterior person would complain. So the aforementioned next door neighbor who's now new next door neighbor. The other person that could complain is a city official that's inside your home for some reason, because maybe you're making another addition or change which requires a city inspector to come and bless it and say that it's okay. While he's there looking at your legal additions, he may take a look at your illegal additions. And this is another really good reason to know, does this unpermitted space likely a red flag for a casual city inspector coming into the home? And a word to the wise, if you have illegal space and you have a city inspector come into your home, don't piss him off. You don't want to give him reasons to be looking for other things in your home than what he was there to look at to begin with. Now, if you have all these questions answered satisfactorily, you don't feel that it's going to be a problem to other neighbors, you don't feel that it's going to be a red flag to a city official that might be inside your home, and it doesn't look like it's shoddy construction, now you have a choice to make. This home is worth more than a house that doesn't have this space in it. It's worth less than a home that has this space that's legally permitted. Take that under advisement, talk to your real estate professional, and then go ahead, buy the home. It's probably just fine.